Yo, what's up guys? Right now we're taking a look at one of the most underrated BTD games, Bloons Adventure Time Tower Defense. Just saying the title, I can't believe this game is real. After making jokes and not taking this game seriously, is it actually worth playing? Well, after about 30 hours, I think I have the answer. But first, there's a lot to get into because believe it or not, this game is very different than your typical Bloons Tower Defense game in a lot of little ways. I'm sure you can notice that I didn't place any ordinary tower. My tower is Finn from Adventure Time. Obviously, Ninja Kiwi had some good connections to get a crossover like this, and it's not as confusing as you think. For example, Finn is like Sada from BTD 6. This game actually came out in a similar time in late 2018, early 2019, so it's funny to think of Finn being the first version of Sada, or the Fire Princess being the same as Adora. For the most part, it's like two worlds colliding. Not to say they're entirely copies, they're all pretty different. They can have all these upgrades that make it feel different, and even the way you upgrade in this game is pretty different. You don't have your triple crosspath upgrade system like you do in BTD 6. You can just get whatever upgrade you want with very little restrictions. That part of it is very simple, but then there's other ways of getting upgrades, like certain characters having synergy to unlock new upgrades. Like my favorite combo is having Finn and Jake together to get a Merchantman type of upgrade you can only get if they're next to each other. This makes the game feel more connected with all the characters, and it's not just a presentation. The Adventure Time aspect affects the gameplay too. I think it's really cool hearing all the characters interact with each other.
Jake? Lots of colorful things headed this way. Hold up. They're Bloons. Wow, so many of them and they just keep coming. Jake?
Not now, dude.
Jake!
I'm in the zone, dude.
Jake!
The zone, Finn! The zone!
Normally I think this type of thing is a little corny like in Bloons Pop, but these are also kids games so I get it. But if you watch Adventure Time or just remember the characters like me, then it makes the whole experience more unique and enjoyable. It makes it that much more exciting unlocking a new tower because you're not just unlocking a new tower, you're unlocking Princess Bubblegum or the Ice King or something.
Ice King, come out! We know you're up to something.
Oh, my husband, the Ice King, isn't here at the moment. Go away, Finn and Jake.
He's finally lost it, dude.
Enough. Yeah!
Oh, now look what you've done. You're gonna pay for that.
As well as the entire map based off the show as you go from level to level, it's cool seeing places you recognize and unlocking the characters who are there in the show. It's things like this, the soundtrack, and the voice acting that make the presentation very good to those who appreciate it.
Lemon Grab's in there, and he's up to something.
Unacceptable! Your silence is unacceptable!
His silence would be greatly acceptable.
Talk to me!
We need to get inside and find out what he's up to.
No, we need to get inside and remove his talking part. Seriously, I can't listen anymore.
There's also the allies, which are like secondary towers which aren't as strong with less upgrades, but they're usually cheaper and you can get some strong ones. One big difference from an ally and a character like Finn is that Finn can level up and get items. Just like the upgrade system, this is something that makes this game very different from the other BTD games. As you play the game, you unlock new items you can equip to your characters. They're called trinkets and you can get them from these wish orbs that are basically supply drops.
Jackpot!
These trinkets can upgrade your characters and can change the gameplay quite a bit, so it's not something you can ignore and should try to do correctly. Some trinkets have synergy with certain characters and can only be used by certain characters. Not to mention that each main character like Finn or Jake have their own level and get stronger over time. You also have your own level where you unlock new things and get more starting cash as you level up. So even at 30 hours, I've made a decent amount of progress. I think once you get over that beginning stage, everything starts to come together. I don't know if it sounds overwhelming with all this progression, but it can be exciting like when you get a cool new weapon for a specific character. It can be a lot to explain, but it's easy to get into. The progression has been one of the best parts for me. There's a lot of little things like the quest system that keeps you engaged and rewards you well enough. You unlock more quest slots as you level up too. And I think it's a really good idea when you actually get rewards for getting achievements. It's already nice getting the achievement, but now it's satisfying getting the reward. Normally you'll get a wish orb or some currency. At 30 hours I have about half of the achievements. Speaking of currency, I'm sure you can notice at the top of the screen that we have a few different kinds of currency. Of course that's just your level in XP, but I'm not too sure about the gold coins. I think you can only buy powers with gold coins and I don't even use them yet. Then you have your gems, which I'm choosing not to spend on anything because they're pretty valuable. I just want to spend them carefully. It looks like the main way you should spend these is getting the best daily deal you can get. These are very good and valuable items in a rotation. I heard BMO is really good, so I've been saving up and waiting for him. The next currency at the top right is called shards, and you basically get these when you scrap items you don't want. There's a couple other ways of getting them too, but I like this currency because it makes me feel smart for getting rid of duplicate items and keeping some good ones. You can craft your own wish orb with these shards, and you want to be smart and patient with them because you can craft an epic wish orb. This is the best wish orb that I've seen, and I've only got my hands on a few of them. To craft your own epic wish orb, it took me about 30 hours of playtime saving up for it, but I got a really good item, so it felt pretty worth it. If you're patient and like being rewarded like me, then all these little things will satisfy you. There's also this cosmic essence that helps you level up your characters even faster, so it feels like you can get ahead of the curve. There's this one final currency, but it's more connected to another game mode, which is the Martian games. It seems like Ninja Kiwi likes having a King of the Hill or contested territory type of game mode, and I think it fits pretty well into their games. It's more competitive, trying to last longer than other players, and it's fun pushing your towers to the limit, trying to get to the highest round you possibly can. You get this currency that you can give to the Martian trader for items to get even more ahead of the curve, but I'm going bigger going home, saving for the expensive character. The Martian games usually switches up the gameplay in some weird way, so combine that with being competitive and getting good rewards, I really like this game mode. There's a few different ways to play this game, like deflation mode and the spawn beacon. The spawn beacon is something they have in most of their recent games, and I think it's a really good idea and warm up every day you play. So there's this spawn beacon that picks a random level every day, and you get bonus rewards for beating it. It's nothing too crazy, but it gives you that extra bit of progression for playing every day, like the daily rewards for just getting on the game. There were a few other unique things, like a game mode and the map changing back when I was playing during the holidays, but other than that, there's not too many different ways to play the game other than the main adventure. This is your main story, progression, and adventure. This is where you learn everything, this is where you unlock new levels and characters, this is where the characters talk to each other.
Ah! The Bloons have already made it to the Fire Kingdom! I can't see Flame Princess anywhere! If you've touched her, I cannot be held responsible for my actions!
If they've touched her, they'll have disintegrated, silly.
PB? What are you doing here?
Were you spying on Finn?
Jake, what are you doing here?
Woke up and was bored, so decided to spy on Finn.
Admit it, Jake. You were missing me.
Great. Did everyone follow me?
It's pretty cool how it feels like a little story that you naturally play in a certain order, but you actually have more freedom than it seems. You can just go around the map playing wherever you want as long as you have it unlocked, but even when I unlocked very challenging levels, I wanted to go at my own pace. You can see a list of all the levels, but you'll notice that I don't have random medals. I go in a certain order for a certain reason. Even though you can play any level, doesn't mean you should. I also like the designs and how the levels play. I like how they're unique to this game and based off places in the show. It's one of those things that makes the presentation all come together. Adventure mode has been really fun so far, and I'm excited about the late game levels. But one thing that can be a game breaker for some of you is the monetization. Like, is this game even worth playing if it's just a long grind? Well, as someone who doesn't plan on spending money, I don't have too many complaints so far. I just want BMO. There's only been a couple of times in the early game that felt like a bump in the road and made it a little tempting to spend money, but after that, it's been a smooth experience. Most of the time, if you get stuck on a level, you can just go back to other levels and get stronger. Just like Bloons Monkey City, I don't feel the need to spend money. The store can be tempting, throwing sales in your face, but it never seems worth it. It'd be nice if you can spend gems or coins in the store. I thought about getting one of the character packs, especially for BMO, but I'll see how long it naturally takes. Just ignore the store for most of the part unless you see a sale that you really want. Since the monetization is very noticeable, I'm sure you can tell that this is a mobile game. I'm sure the mobile community is very strong like it is with most Ninja Kiwi games, but for a good reason. Ninja Kiwi games have to be some of the best, if not the best mobile games. I'm playing this on Steam, so I'm not sure if there's any differences with the mobile and PC version. Either way, Ninja Kiwi games is where the PC and mobile community could come together to play a great game in peace. It's funny, because this game will still tell you about updates in their new games while this game hasn't been updated in years. It probably doesn't need the updates, but you can see the patch notes from the home screen if you want. But you guys see what I mean? Isn't this game pretty underrated? Especially being one of the least played BTD games? Naturally, this is probably one of the last games someone would play in the series, but that doesn't mean it's the worst. I prefer this type of gameplay over BTD battles, and I think I like this more than Bloons Monkey City. So far, this seems like a game I can get in a good routine with. All the daily rewards and progressions. Seems like a trend with most mobile games, but Ninja Kiwi does it better than 99% of mobile games. They don't hold you back from the gameplay too much. In 30 hours, the only difficulties I played on was hard and normal. I haven't gotten to extreme difficulty yet, but I play the Martian games when I want that late game satisfaction. There's also one big reason to support this game, and I'm about to say something crazy, but Ninja Kiwi did a crossover with the last good Cartoon Network show. There, I said it.
Whatever.
Like, Adventure Time is cool, but what about Courage the Cowardly Dog, Codename Kids Next Door, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Ed, Ed, and Eddie? These are the classic shows that made Cartoon Network the best. I don't remember when Gumball, a regular show, came out, but those are cool too. This might be a generational thing, but Cartoon Network and new kids shows suck. Argue with me in the comments if you want to lose. Listen, when we get Bloons Pokemon Defense, then I'll be happy. But until then, you guys should definitely check out Bloons Adventure Time Tower Defense, one of the most underrated and charming Bloons Tower Defense games. I can tell a lot of effort went into this game and felt the need to tell you guys about it. I mean, there's like no reviews on this game, so if I don't tell you, who will? I think that means I reviewed every Bloons Tower Defense game except the old school classics and the original Bloons TD battles. It's been a fun journey checking out every BTD game, and I'm sure some of you are on that same journey too. If you are, make sure you don't forget this charming underrated passion project that is Bloons Adventure Time. Peace.